Hello, today is Friday, the 28th of October, 2011, and let's start within this daily chart, move into the quarter day chart. Then I'm going to finish this off within a look at the Occupy Wall Street, however, using pro football as a metaphor. So let's get started within the actual charts itself. As far as trend lines are concerned, I think the most least aggressive, I should say, not most least, but the least aggressive or most conservative trend line would be this one in here. Now, I was also talking about this little trend line in here, and right now it's at the upper end within this particular trend line in here within the indecision point. Now, there was a 5% gain yesterday, and a lot of people are excited because, well, the market is breaking out. Personally, myself, I really couldn't care less either way because these type of moves do not productively get us to where we need to go. The reason is because the mechanisms that are used for the markets to be going up and for them to be going down. As many people have often said, what good is this technical analysis in a manipulated market? And what good is it to understand the manipulation of which the market plays towards? So, with that being stated, what I was stating was in the break within this range that I would expect it to, on the downside, to relatively go down to the previous low of 26 and change pretty fast to the upside, up to the 36 and low change level, which seems to be where the market is headed towards, or the odds of which it will go there with not the largest of retracements is high. What that means is it may sell off usually just a little bit before it gets there, but it does seem as if we're going to have that fast move up to that 36 level. If we get to that level, then what does it mean then? And the answer I use is then what? And then what means that you go there, you now adjust to what the message of the market and try to find any more situations or analysis that can give you further direction. Generally speaking, on a excuse me, on a bullish level, what you want to see occur is for this market when it comes up to this area, if it finds resistance to make a nice significant higher low, and it would be nice to have it where an area of previous resistance came into play. And the big level is 33.58. So if we do have any retracements, that would be the mark that I would be looking for support to be found. If we come up to this level and maybe we just stabilize at this area, sort of like how the market stabilized down here at this 32 level, that would be another positive situation. And the next occurrence is if we get up to this level and it's not resistance and it keeps breaking through, goes up to 37 and 37 and change, well, there's a telltale warning sign that the normal resistance is not there and there's some powerful other forces in play. Then you might have to ask yourself, will this area be support rather than resistance? Or will we just come up to another major resistance point? And maybe the larger areas in here, which around $38, which was a previous big level. And then, of course, a previous top of 42. Moving on to the quarter day or 6 hour chart, the conservative trend line that I was telling you about would be the one that connects these. Really, no, it doesn't even connect these two lows, but that is a trend line. And the point that I want to go over is when you're within a trend line and you are within this upwards, for example, accelerating higher, then there's a higher uptrend line. And that's the case in here because over the last few days, it's been nowhere near that line. And then we can draw this trend line. And if we bounce from here, it would be like this, and so on and so on. Now, as far as Fibonacci retracement is concerned, I have levels here from the 2610 top low, and the 3567 top, which was earlier today. Therefore, if this is the level where it is going to sell off, then these would be the Fibonacci levels, 31 and change and 29 and a half pretty much. But question is, where will we start the Fibonacci from? Because one of them is the $26 lows not seen on the chart. Then you got these $28 lows, but not so relevant. More relevant would be these lows of around $30. You also have these breakout lows right in here, right before the market broke out of the significant resistance level at around 31. And then you have this breakout low to calculate Fibonacci. Which one it would come back to, that would be anyone's guess, but my guess is that only a smaller amount. So I think the 38.2% retracement from this low to the high would be a possible area, or a 61.8% down retracement from this low and this high, which really would be the previous resistance is what I'd be looking at, which in here is about $34 an ounce as a possible level where it may find support. Okay, now let's finish this off with what I want to talk about with Occupy Wall Street and the correlation within a football. In a football game, a quarterback needs an offensive line. If you look at all the great Super Bowl champions, all the great quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Joe Montana, John Elway, there's a long list. They all had the same thing in common, that they had protection within their offensive line. Occupy Wall Street needs an offensive line because maybe they can make plays as well with protection. And if you look at some of the positions within Occupy Wall Street, you have filmographers. You know, we've been stated as a people that no matter where we walk on the streets today, there's a camera that is videotaping us at all times. Well, as far as the NYPD or all the police departments are concerned, they are in the same boat as well. Because if something's going on, the arrests are moving forward, there are several people that are filming it. And of course, a needed position within the Occupy Wall Street. Speakers and leaders are needed within Occupy Wall Street, people in charge of donations or people that are helping within donations. It could be as simple as sending a PayPal a donation or sending tents and supplies and so on. And people on the ground helping with the donations, picking up the donations, sorting through the donations, and all that type of thing. Helpers, which his organization is sorting through. Helpers for food, library, and you can just name, there's so much that they could help within. Medic, first aid, and I think they're doing very well within these. A game theory strategy, game plan, if you will. But what they are lacking, in my opinion, is that of an offensive line. And I mean that as far as protection, which has really not been in play. Now, I did hear before how the Marines were going to come in and help protect. I haven't seen that as of yet. But currently, like I say, that is not in play. After all, if you look at the NYPD a defensive line, they are rushing into the quarterback often and getting several sacks because of the lack of protection. Thank you for watching and have yourself a great day.